So who here has heard about, so we're going to talk about Reiki today, and we will talk about the first precept, and which is anger. And then we will talk about what is anger and how to communicate with anger. And so back to the question, who here has heard about Reiki? You can raise your hands, please.
I did. Can you see our hands?
No, your video is off.
Okay.
I see Charles' hands and Farnoosh hands raised. Okay, so Farnoosh, can you please explain what you have learned about Reiki or what you know about it?
It's like energy healing.
Mm-hmm. And how did you hear about it?
I was exposed to it.
Okay, thank you. And who wants to share next about how they heard about Reiki?
I'll share.
Okay, go for
So,
it.
first time I heard of the word Reiki was from you, Nada.
Okay.
And but the word was very easy for me to associate with because in Japanese it's in kanji, so it's lin chi, and lin means soul, and chi is energy, but chi was within the body. But typically Japanese kanji are oversimplified, so it should probably mean the study of energy and the control of it. But I don't know. That's my assumption right now.
Okay. So good. I'm glad you mentioned the kanji or the Chinese characters for Reiki. I'm going to go ahead and share it with you all right now. And
Yay.
I'm also, it is, you mentioned that you think it might be a system of the study of soul energy and the control of it. So that would be the system of Reiki. Many people in the modern days use that word for the healing system. However, the word itself just means the soul, spiritual energy. Let me share my screen so you guys can see what it means. One moment. Let me share the screen. If anyone has questions at any time, you're welcome to raise your hands and then we will discuss.
It looks like you're in a different room.
Yes. I am in a different room now.
I like this room.
Me too.
Me too. Although I've never seen the previous.
Okay, do you see this? This is the first character. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the first character, for which is Ling. It means spirit, and I'm going to talk about this character. Some of you might be familiar with what it is made of already if you speak Chinese, and for those who do not speak Chinese. So the first character on the top part is this character right here. Do you see my pointer?
Yep.
Yeah, so this is the character, the first character. And then these three on the bottom are the second character. And then this bottom character is also one character, which is made up of two characters. So I'm going to explain that. On the very top, there's the character for rain. So rain, something that falls from the sky. You can think of something falling from heaven. We can think of it as just spiritual blessings falling from the sky, showering on us. which is here. And then we have 3. So this is the character rain, how it came to be. So it is rain falling from the sky. The second character, which are these 3, there's 3 of these characters, is this character here, which means an opening or the mouth. And it was taken from the shape of a mouth, and then they made this character. So on the bottom is how it evolved over time to the modern day, which now it looks like this. So a mouth, what is a mouth? It is an entrance, and we can think of it as, this is my interpretation of this character. So we can think of it, we have spiritual rain falling down, and it's entering the openings, and so it's entering our energy body. And then we have this third character, which is, and then the reason that it's 3, this is just my interpretation of it. So Reiki uses 3 energy dantians, which is like a chakra. So they use a lower dantian, a middle dantian, and a heavenly dantian. And the lower one is related with earth energy and centering ourselves. And the middle one is connected with the heart and emotions. And the and the higher dantian is related with heavenly energy and connecting with spirit or heaven.
Okay.
So my interpretation is that we have this rain, spiritual rain falling down, and it's entering all of the dantians. So it is filling our whole energy body with spiritual blessings. And then I'm going to move on to the next part of this character, which is, where did it go? Here. This. So this character is representing work, and it originated from this tool. So this tool is used for work, and this shape was also used when someone gives an offering to a spirit. It was used as the shape is similar to what is used also when giving a prayer or offering to the god or gods in the ancient, in those traditions. So, and then, hold on, this, the next, so that is this character right here. And then these characters, 2 on the bottom, this means person, which is coming from a person with their arms out. And so then we can see it as the person with their arms out is giving an offering here. And actually these 2 characters, when combined, they form the character for shaman, which is this character. Shaman, or someone who does spiritual work.
Healing.
or spiritual doctor. If anyone wants to add to these definitions, you're welcome to talk and add your insight.
Yeah, I'd love to share something that I just learned from you. Again,
Okay,
I mean,
sure.
it's always so amazing to hear this. When you talked about the 3 opening and how it's associated with our 3 dantian,
Uh-huh.
I always knew about dantian through my Chinese background, but that was always located below the belly button. And so I would assume that's the 2nd chakra. But the way I connect energy best is through love and connection through the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I think the Americans typically share energy. And then the 1st chakra, I mean, the 7th chakra is through the head. That's what I read in terms of the chakra energies on how you receive energy from the universe. And so this is the first time that I learned that all 3 of those are equally important in receiving energy. That's
Yes,
cool.
all 3 are equally important, and the balance is important also. Thank you for sharing, Charles. I want to add a little more. So this character, we can kind of interpret it like, so rain is falling down through our energy centers, and so we're connecting. We can interpret this connecting heaven with earth, and then there's 2 of us here. There's 2 beings here. So perhaps it can be interpreted as the inner and the outer self, or the duality, both sides, the left and right, balance. So spiritual energy is pouring down from heaven to earth in balance on all aspects of us. This is a way that we can interpret this character, which is altogether meaning spirit. And one thing in addition I like to add is, before this character looks, now the character looks like this, and before this, so the bottom part here, before it used to be this character. This character means to see, or a land spirit, or to learn, to show. And this character is derived from giving an offering to spirits. So here they are performing an offering ritual to the spirit. So previously, the first character in Reiki, which is Ling, which is Ling in Chinese, had this character on the bottom instead of the character for this character for shaman. So it is very connected with spirit and acknowledging divinity. It can be like the highest spirit. So that was just a way that the character changed.
That's interesting too.
Yeah, I thought that was very interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this character here is usually represents deity in a way of life, or like a principle. So Confucianism, the way that he taught how we were supposed to live, or in the Bible, how there are like the commandments. This would represent that way of life. So it's interesting to see that the spirit used to be a way of life, but then now it's become more of a shaman, a tool between people.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You just said a tool between people. So that shaman character is exactly, it's like a tool between people, we can see as well. A conduit between people. And
Yeah,
yes,
wow, interesting.
very interesting. So I also see that Reiki is traditionally a way of life, a spiritual way of life. So that is the first character, Rei. What is the second character? So the second character is Ki. Ki is Chi. In Chinese, in Sanskrit, it is called prana. This is just energy. And it's energy that we cannot see. However, we can feel. We can look into how this character was made also. So it's made from two characters, the top part and then this inside part. So the top character means cloud, or the top character, it's meaning this energy, this, or to send. This character is derived from a cloud. So it had to do with like the clouds moving, and it has to do to explain this energy that we cannot see but we can feel. Maybe we can try something after I explain the second part. And then the second character, this means rice. And it's from the rice grains which this character was derived. So these two characters in itself, it traditionally is representing rice, and then some energy from the rice you can see. So it is representing the steam that is rising from the rice. When cooked rice and the steam is rising, you feel something, right? You feel the warmth from the rice, or that is rising. However, we cannot see it, but we feel it. So that is type of chi. Also, if we rub our hands together and press in here and press here, these are 2 points of energy entering in our hands. And then you can put your hand into a ball and slowly bring your hands together and bring them apart and together and apart, and just observe for a little bit. Does anyone want to share if anything they noticed something while doing this? Who noticed, wait one moment, how can I see, oh wait. So who noticed something? You can let me know if you noticed something. I cannot see your hands right now, so if you noticed something, say yes.
Yes.
Okay. If you did not notice something, say no.
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 Okay. Oliver, how about you?
I said no.
No? Okay. And Zishi, how about you?
It's just a kind of feeling that something is exchanged between my hands.
Okay, yes, okay. And Kai, how about you?
Oh, this morning it's just like maybe a slightly warm tingling.
Okay, cool. Something being exchanged, a warm tingling.
Yeah.
Charles, how about you? How was it for you?
Yeah. It's my go-to place to feel it.
Okay, cool. And so Farnoosh and Oliver, it's okay if you don't feel anything. That's fine. It's still, there's still energy transfer taking place. And so that's like that's those things that you felt is key. And so that is what Reiki means. And I'm going to now explain a little bit about Reiki now. Now, let me stop sharing the screen for a second. Yeah, I'll stop sharing the screen now. Or actually, yeah, I'll stop sharing the screen. So Reiki, we learned that it means spiritual energy. And the founder, so what we call Reiki nowadays has come to represent a healing, something for healing or healing modality. And as Charles pointed out, I'll start sharing the screen again, since this is quite okay. As Charles pointed out, this character here is used for Confucianism or a way of life. So Reiki is a spiritual way of life. And the practice that we call Reiki, the healing practice, we can call that the system of Reiki. So this Reiki, it was Dr. Usui Mikao, who practiced martial arts. He came to recognize this energy again, and he decided to share this knowledge with everyone. So it's supposed to be something very easy to learn. And anyone can connect with Reiki. And we are all made up of Reiki. So if we do not have any Reiki in our body, then we would not be animated in this form that we are animated right now. And that also has similarities with the view of Chinese medicine, and which says that when she leaves your body, then you die. So maintaining our chi and maintaining a healthy flow without blockage is important for maintaining our health, both physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. When there's an imbalance in any one in any one part of our lives, it manifests as a blockage. So with Reiki, we can, with the practice of Reiki, we can bring awareness to those aspects of our life, and we can transform those blockages such that they no longer are there. So the practice of Reiki, I'll stop sharing now. The practice of Reiki has five elements. The first one is the precept. There are 5 precepts. The first precept is for today only, do not anger, which is what we're going to discuss today. And the next one is for today only, do not worry, which we discuss next time. And then for today only, be humble and grateful. For today only, do honest work. For today only, show compassion for self and others. So there's 5 precepts. So now we will start with the precepts. And after the precepts are finished, which is the first element of Reiki, there are techniques and meditations. And then after the techniques and meditations, there's hands-on healing, which is really a byproduct. It is not the main focus, it was a byproduct. And then there are mantras and symbols. And I just want to ask, so how many of you have heard that in order to practice Reiki, we need to use a mantra or a symbol?
I've heard definitely the symbol.
You heard the symbol. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? Did anyone else hear anything?
I've heard that to meditate, you should be chanting a mantra.
For any type of meditation?
Yeah.
Okay. Did anyone else hear anything? Okay, so let's address those two. So the first one, Kai mentioned that we need to use a symbol when practicing Reiki. No, you don't have to. Originally, the symbols and the mantras that were used when we are referring to the practice of the system of Usui Reiki as was performed by Mikao Usui, the symbols and the mantras were given as a form of training wheels. So everything is vibration and frequency and vibration, and sound is a type of vibration. A symbol that we draw allows us to tune into a specific type of frequency or energy. Same with a mantra. Mantras give a specific type of feeling or energy. Some mantras, such as Guan Yin, which is Om Mani Padme Hum, has been known for protective powers. And then we have the mantra like Om, which is all over just sound of the universe and harmony. And there are many different other kinds of mantras, which each have a different energy, vibration, and frequency. The symbol, we don't need to use the symbol. We can use it in the beginning if it helps us. At the end, if you want to, if you feel comfortable using the symbol, then you're welcome to use it. However, it's not a rule that you have to use a symbol. When we start talking about the symbols later on, I will explain those in more detail. And then with the mantra also, the mantra helps to, so if someone is chanting, when meditating, they chant Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Then around their aura or their energy body will be this vibration of Om Mani Padme Hum. So we can see like it has a positive effect. It is allowing us to attract things that are in that vibration of Om Mani Padme Hum. So that's an effect that it has. However, we do not have to use a mantra. If you want to use a mantra, that's okay. However, we don't have to use a mantra. We can meditate on silence, and then we have silence. Whatever we use to meditate on, we become that. Just like, how many of you have experienced times when working that you felt you were in the flow, that your work or your study was going very smoothly? Has anyone ever felt that way?
Yeah.
You did. Okay.
Yeah.
So Oliver, that is also meditation. You became one with your work.
Yep.
Anyone else? Work, sports, traveling somewhere, or just sitting and observing. All of these, we constantly meditate throughout our daily life. It's when we eat our food, we become one with our food. That is also like a type of meditation. It's a way of life. So we don't need to use a mantra, and we can if we want to. And same with the symbols, we don't have to, and we can if we want to. So the third, back to the elements of Reiki. The fourth element was the mantras and the symbols. And then the fifth element is Reiju, which means a spiritual blessing. And in the Western terminology, they call it an attunement. Has anyone ever heard of Reiju or attunement? Okay. So this is, these are a type of blessings that allow the purpose of the blessing is to allow the recipients to be more perceptive to energy, and it serves as a type of shower. It pours down and clears all the meridians and energy channels, and allows the individual's spiritual path to develop at the pace that is best for them. There's if you go anywhere and someone says that they're going to take away your attunement, which is what they call it in the Western terminology, that is impossible. They cannot take something away from you, because
I felt shocked when you said that. I'm like, well, how can someone do that?
yeah, yeah.
Like,
Some people for marketing, they say, I'll give you a temporary attunement and it expires, but that's not real. The word attunement, let's look at the word attunement. So the word, one moment. The word, oh, here we are.
So I'm thinking, like, how can you take away my life force? It's mine. It exists. You don't have
Exactly.
control over that.
It's something we are born with. And then Reiju. Let me share this screen. Okay.
But I want to comment on that.
Go for it.
I think you also need wisdom to recognize what you're taught is wrong. And that I think that's what the spiritual awakening is all about, because as we go through life in school, we're taught the culture of what the way this world is supposed to work. But then as we are meditating and trying to get get into our soul, we're listening more into what the universal wisdom should be. And so, yeah, it's interesting that your first reaction is so, because I don't necessarily always know if my thoughts are correct, and that maybe I'm mistaken.
Thank you for sharing, Charles. This is, yes, when we are born, like children, especially children, are very, so Reiki, especially children, they're very in tune with their surroundings. And sometimes you notice they just say things out of nowhere. Or if you watch the way that a child moves, they move very animated. They're very in tune with their surroundings and with their soul. And as they grow older, society says, oh, you should behave like this. Oh, you should behave like that. And we never lose our true nature. It simply becomes a little bit, it becomes covered with expectations of others, of society. So this whole process is going through those expectations, sorting them out and saying, what is me? What is my true nature? And what does my true nature want? Attunement. Tune, like tuning an instrument. So attunement is, if we look at the word attunement, it's like tuning a violin before playing it. We tune the violin and then it plays very smoothly. This attunement is the same meaning. It's like tuning our energy, if we call it our energetic antennas, so that we are able to more smoothly receive and communicate with the spirit. Does anyone have questions about this? Okay. So now we have completed an overview of Reiki and what Reiki is not. It is not something that harms. It is not something that can be taken away from you. It's been with you it's been with us since we've been born. This process is simply a process of returning to that nature that we have. And we're gonna move on to the precepts. So the first precept number 1. For today only, do not anger. Okay. For today only. The purpose of for today only is to bring us in the now, in this present moment. So for today only. If it's only for today, then it's possible that we do not anger today. If that's difficult, we can bring it to for this moment only. Or for this moment only. Do not anger. And moments on moments on moments become today, and today's on today's on today's become now. Become just a way of life. So how do you feel when you are angry? Would you like to go around and share how you feel when something makes you angry? How do you feel inside? Does anyone want to share?
I feel tense in my body, especially
Okay.
my muscles.
Okay.
And I
Tense.
feel, yeah, I feel kind of anxiety as well because I don't want the anger to take control of me, but I cannot get rid of it once it appears.
Okay. Okay. So we want to get rid of the anger, but we have no control of it once it appears.
I'm not saying I'm not saying I have no control of it, but it's
Okay.
really difficult to control at the peak of the anger.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe heavy feeling. So.
Heavy feeling.
Especially when you feel the anger is not caused by yourself, but someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Or like by the things or words, by the things done or the words said by someone else.
Yes. Yes.
I think for me, I feel irritable, like something must be done. So there's a certain amount of restlessness. I have to busy myself to make something happen, even if it's not addressing the anger directly, I must still feel like I have to do something. I'm not able to have peace or relax with anger resonating throughout me.
Okay.
I
Okay.
have the same feeling.
Okay. And anyone else want to share? Okay, so good. For those of you who shared, thank you. Yes, angry is a tense type of feeling. Anxiety, anxious and anger. Let's also take a look at where the word anger comes from. But if we see anger and anxiety, they are coming from the same root. They are similar with each other, this tense type of feeling. Irritation, restlessness, something must be done. This is also a type of tension. This tension, we want to release this tension. If this tension is gone, then we can have peace and relax. So we want to get rid of the anger, but it's difficult to control at the peak. So the peak is very, very tense. Heavy, a heavy feeling. Yes, it is a heavy feeling. So everything we describe here is type of like the energetic feeling related with anger. I'm going to take a look at the etymology of anger, and we can see how what we described here is very similar to where the word originated from. Let me So here, this is etymology of anger. To irritate, annoy, provoke, grieve, vex, distress. This is the verb. And the noun, a hostile attitude, ill will. The sense that the tension that we that one of you mentioned, So pressure, so bear heavy on me. Being in low spirits and sadness. So it's a very, everything we all described is very similar to the origin of the word. And we also with pressure. So when we see someone who's angry, many times, well, what comes to your some people describe it like this, like red-faced. There's so much pressure that is boiling and someone becomes red-faced. So all of what we explain here is correct, is you all explained is correct. I'm going to explain the Chinese character for it as well. Here we go. Okay. So this is the character for anger. And this character is one of the 7 emotions which are mentioned in Chinese medicine. And this character is made up of 3 other characters. On the very bottom is the character for heart.
Ada,
Yes.
I can't see your browser. I only see the Word document.
Oh, really? Hold on. I'm sorry. Thank you for sharing. Okay.
Thanks.
Let's figure out. New share. New share. Okay, so none of you saw the other one either. Okay. Let me Safari. Okay.
No.
Do you see it? Do you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. Let me go to
Yeah.
the other one that I was sharing. Okay, here we go. So this is where I was mentioning where the word anger comes from. And the noun anger, here it mentions distress, suffering. From Old Norse, anger, distress, grief, sorrow, affliction. And expressed by the image of pressure. So this tension, this irritation, restlessness, all have to do with that. And here, when we think of anger, what usually pops up into our head? Some people, they go like this, which is like the devil, who's red-faced, very fiery, or here smoke is blowing out of her ears because there's so much pressure that has risen and the pressure has to go out somewhere. All of these are different expressions of anger using the color red here. It's a very fiery color. And now I wanted to explain how the Chinese character is for anger. So this character here means anger, and this character is made up of 3 other characters. The bottom one here means heart. The top one here is a woman, and the other one here is to grab or to, and I'm going to show it here. This means a woman. Okay, it does not explain, but this character means a woman, and this character means again, or the right hand. Originally, it's drawn from someone grabbing. So these two characters combined, it makes this character, which is like very like, looking down on someone and like grabbing someone. And here's the image that it's from. This is like a young woman servant, and she is being grabbed. And then we have the character of heart under that. Heart, emotion. So the emotion is a servant is being grabbed, and emotion that someone feels is being combined to explain the term of anger. Also in Chinese character, this character is also used to describe anger, and this character means fire. So it's very fiery. And when this happens, what does fire do? Fire burns things, right? If we have too much anger within ourselves, it can exhaust our internal energy, our internal chi, and then it manifests as a type of dis-ease. I was looking at the relationship between the emotions and dis-ease, and here is the one for anger. Anger, as described by TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, covers the full range of associated emotions, including resentment, irritability, and frustration. An excess of rich blood makes one prone to anger. Anger will thus affect the liver, resulting in stagnation of liver qi, vital energy. This can lead to liver energy rising to the head, resulting in headaches, dizziness, and other symptoms. In the long run, it can result in high blood pressure. So if someone is angry for a very long time, they're boiling, and their internal barometer their internal state is continuing to be boiling, then the high blood pressure is a natural result. Can cause problems with stomach and the spleen. It is commonly observed that ruddy, full-blooded people with flushed faces are more prone than others to sudden fits of rage at the slightest provocation. So it is something that in itself, the emotion of anger in itself is not something bad. However, if we let it sit there and we don't address it, it can start manifesting as other issues within the body. And so I want to show here. Can you all see these screens that I'm going to? Now we're on the green notebook page.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So this is the 5 elements, do not anger. So how can we, some things we can discuss about anger. When we're anger, a lot of time, when we anger, a lot of times we forget about thinking about, oh, why am I angry? Or what caused the anger? We just blow up. So a practice we can do is to catch it immediately when it rises and let it go. And then anger, we talked about how mantras create a special vibration, and then we can attract things that vibrate the same frequency with us. Anger is also a type of energy, right? So if we're angry, then everything we see, all we're going to see is anger. we can practice bringing our awareness to that and change the way that we see. We can create a happy story in place of something that's making us angry. And a lot of times, why are we angry? What makes us angry? Does anyone want to share what makes them angry?
Actually, I was quite angry today.
Okay, do you want to share?
Yeah, it's a long story. I try to make it short. So today was the traditional Qingming festival in China
Mm-hmm.
and in many other Asian countries, perhaps. And so yeah, everybody knows about this coronavirus thing.
Yes.
And yeah, there are many medical workers died in China during the outbreak, and so yeah, so people people began mourning the doctors and the nurses, and actually this has begun for like months. But whenever people criticize the government for their wrongdoings, especially at the beginning of the outbreak, um, their posts on the social media gets deleted, and especially today. And it's so basically the Chinese government led a nationwide mourning, and whoever's not following this nationwide mourning, like basically who's doing it themselves while criticizing the government, got their posts deleted, and and everybody was kind of following this mourning on my on the social media, and I could see the same posts by different people, and I got really disgusted by that.
Oh.
So yeah, so I got quite angry during the day.
Yes. Thank you for sharing, Oliver. Yes,
Thank you.
it's thank you for sharing. It's very good. This if we take that example, can we say that the anger was caused by maybe was it perhaps an expectation or a wish that the government would respect each individual's way of mourning?
Yeah, I would say that's part of the source of the anger.
Okay.
And the other part would also be related to my expectation that I don't want to see. I basically, I personally just hate those kind of broad, like basically like you propagate people's mind with the broad concepts and the morality which is used as a political tool. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, just I just don't like this kind of thing, because those people died are all individuals, and so basically what I see today was against my personal value.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's another kind of expectation.
Yes. Thank you for sharing. Yes, it's like you mentioned, so it was an expectation, maybe a feeling of disappointment. And the main, as Oliver mentioned, expectations we have of others or of ourselves can cause us to react in a different way when the expectation is not met. And this oftentimes expresses itself in anger. Oftentimes, anger is not something that is meant to cause harm. It's a way of, it can really be a someone who is hurt, and the hurt is being expressed in anger. And someone who wishes, for example, to be heard, and they cannot be heard, so they feel angry. Oftentimes, we recognize when we can recognize our anger, and then we come and say, oh, I shouldn't be angry. That puts another expectation on ourselves. Hey, Neda, you're not allowed to be angry. That's wrong. We put ourselves under that expectation that just puts more pressure on ourselves. So when we feel angry, how can we transform that anger? We can observe and feel that anger. The practice here is here. So we can take the anger out of a situation by reading the story in a different way, light, and learning from it to then release it. So how? Instead of calling it anger, we learned that everything is energy. And we had to mention that anger feels very heavy. So we can observe this charge that the anger has and just observe it without calling it anger. We'll just look at that and then see how it transforms, and we'll let it to come up and go away. Just like boiling water, the steam comes and rises away. We'll let the anger come up and we'll let it rise and float away, and it will be gone. Instead of putting the lid on the boiling water and letting it keep boiling and boiling and boiling, we will open the lid and let the steam go out. So this is anger and how it is like. And the purpose of anger, here we can talk very briefly. Anger can be seen as a way to get someone else's attention when speaking to them kindly and calmly does not work. It's when someone shouts at you, how do you feel?
Startled.
Startled. Okay. So they got your attention by shouting at you.
Yeah, it's like throwing cold water in someone's face. It's very abrasive.
Yes, a very aggressive way to get someone's attention. That is how we can see the function of the reason for someone angering. Yes, thank you for sharing, Kai. Something that we can implement into our daily life is that everything that happens for us, the Spirit has a great plan for us in mind. So when something happens for us, and especially when something bad happens, we say, oh, this happened to me, or that happened to me. We can say, this happened for me. An event happened for us to open a door and allow us to grow. And this is very easily said. And bringing awareness to our daily actions, just 5 minutes a day, or if you want to choose one thing. Like for today, I'm going to bring awareness to a specific event, or I'm going to see things as happening to me and happening for me instead of to me. This practice can help to cultivate a non-anger type of a way to very quickly allow the steam to float away. So this is the first precept. Next time we're going to talk about the other precepts of do not worry, then show gratitude, do honest work, and then show compassion to yourself and others. So this wraps up the introduction to Reiki and the precepts. And today's session has actually gone pretty long just for explaining. So we're going to just have a very short meditation around 10 minutes. And some of you, I wrote down if there's something that you wish to release for anger, to write it down and bring it with you. So we're going to spend around 5 minutes, and I want everyone to spend 5 minutes to just, before starting, I like you to set the intention to receive what you need at this moment in time. And I'd also like you to give your thanks to yourself for joining today. And you're welcome to ask spirit or whoever if you wish to ask a divinity for guidance, you're welcome to ask them for guidance, or you're welcome to ask your own soul for guidance during this meditation. And I'd like you during this meditation to meditate on the first precept. For today only, do not anger. And observe what comes up. And we're going to practice this. We're going to practice observing the energy that rises and observing where it goes. If we get distracted, that's okay. We can acknowledge that and let it go. We don't say, oh man, I'm not supposed to be distracted. Then we put another expectation on ourselves. So just observe for around 5 minutes. And then after 5 minutes, I will sing Om 1 time. And then we're going to change to wishing ourselves, Mother Earth, and all beings unconditional love in all of its causes. Does anyone have any questions before we start this exercise? Okay, so you can sit in a comfortable position, however you feel like. Sit with a straight spine, or if you're lying down, you can lie down with a straight spine. And when you're ready, you can close your eyes. I'm going to leave this here in case you end up opening your eyes to take a look at it. And after 5 minutes, I will sing Om. And after we finish, we can discuss a little bit, and then we will conclude for today. Whenever you're ready, you can close your eyes and begin. Now I'd like you all to slowly, while keeping your eyes closed, shift your focus to your crown. So imagine there is a halo above your head, and the divine blessings are pouring down like rain through your halo, through your crown chakra, and they are showering your entire being with divine blessings. And imagine that this rain of blessing is pouring down on you. And then when you feel ready, and you feel full, I like you to imagine that these blessings of divine energy have radiated out from you in all directions as a ball of pure divine energy. And in this ball of pure divine energy, there is unconditional love. You are unconditional love, and your ball of spiritual blessings are also unconditional love. And I like you to wish all beings and Mother Earth to be blessed with unconditional love and all of its causes. So this includes yourself as well, as you are also part of all beings. So take a moment, accept the blessings. When you feel full, expand your blessings. So accepting Reiki from the heavens, pouring down on us, filling us and expanding out from us on all sides, and is full of unconditional love. And we wish, may all beings be blessed with unconditional love in all of their causes.
How are we gonna share?
And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and give thanks to yourself and your soul and any divinity whom you asked to participate if you asked for divinity's assistance today. Take as much time as you need, and then you can open your eyes. Before we finish, does anyone want to share?
Well, I was going to say that I was definitely feeling some anger from just various situations. And let's see, what really helped me was the notion of not necessarily, I guess, reading the story differently, but like being able to rewrite the story.
Mm-hmm.
And like you're saying, this isn't happening to me, it's happening for me. And that just kind of helped shift my perspective. I just have to come up with reasons why, feel it for. But it did release some of the emotions, the tension that I felt within my heart about my situation and that for which I am angry.
Thank you for sharing. Does anyone else want to share?
I think a lot of time the anger comes from the story you attach to it. So, whatever story you give it, that's important, like how you look at it.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else?
Well, the meditation that you shared was, I thought it was really nice, like the imagery and the visualization aspect of like the goodness coming down. I could really feel that, and that allowed me to create like an inner vision of what I would like to see, not just related to my anger situation, but overall. So it's a certain level of instability that I felt angry about. But then I visualized, some more stable situation and happiness and
Mm-hmm.
my ideal circumstance.
That's great. That's great. So thank you for sharing. And since today's meditation was shorter, I'm going to summarize the meditation and send it all to all of you in an email. And this is something that you can practice for this week, just on the first precept, do not anger. For today only, do not anger. You can practice in the morning, like 10 minutes a day. And then if you signed up for next week, we're going to talk about the next precept and proceed from there. So if you haven't signed up and you want to come to the next week's session, you are welcome to follow the same link and register again for the next session as well. And then we will continue there. And I will upload this onto YouTube, so you can all look at it and review it on if you wish to do that, if you wish to do so as well. Are there any questions or comments or
I have a
requests?
question.
Yes.
Actually, I was curious to ask, is it Kai, about the visualization that you had? Was it like a movie scene, or was like an imagery of how your ideal self was?
The question, repeat the question again for me, please.
Um, I I heard that you were visualizing an alternative self that was less angry, that
Mm-hmm.
was sort of your ideal self. Was it like a movie screen? Like, was it motion, or was it like a imagery, or was it like a voice that you heard?
Okay, yeah. Not a voice. It was more of an image of the situation, of the, not even the situation, but my ideal life, that if I had this, I feel I could cope with my anger and would the thing that would balance me out, basically. So it was more of a visualization or imagery, an image
Wow.
of it. Yeah,
So like
picture.
a photograph of like that ideal situation.
Yes.
That's cool. Is it very detailed, or is it focused in certain areas and blurry in certain areas?
Oh, it's detailed. It's very specific. So that's kind of where, you know, I think I created that imagery internally. It wasn't like an outside abstract coming into me. So it was
Right.
an ideal situation that my heart desires. And
Huh.
yeah, it was the image of it. And it was also not even the image of it, like through my breath, I could feel the happiness of it, the happiness, the emotional happiness
Right.
coming from that
Right.
image. Yeah.
Is it, was this something that you've experienced before, or did it just pop out of nowhere today?
You mean well, this particular situation is new. So visualization and just creating things mentally is not a new process for me. But this particular
Mm.
situation, sometimes, we have to get out of ourselves. So I practice meditation and what have you, wellness things for quite some time. So, but it's good some to have the energy of Netta, the energy of you as a group. I pull from that as well. So that
Mhm.
serves me. Sometimes the doctor needs a doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or in witchery, it's two people working the tools,
exactly.
Yeah, Nada, I want to say, like, it's a very similar experience for me. I
Mm-hmm.
recently just learned about active meditation and the visualization of the reality that you want.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something new, and I don't have that vivid of a feeling as what I've just heard from Akai. But in terms of these meditation sessions, it's every one of us is helping each other, and I could feel it. And
Yeah.
it's different than, I meditate every day, like I do it like 4 times a day, each about 15 to 20 minutes with different kinds of techniques.
Mm-hmm.
And but when I go through, not so much today, maybe because again I had a big lunch, but oftentimes through your meditation sessions I can feel it, and it's really interesting. And it's also, like I said before, like the energy I feel through your meditations is usually more childlike, more like a kid with a balloon, like just excited. um yeah, it's different from other meditations where sometimes it's like more heavy or more wisdom, or
Mm.
it's more focused or more at peace. So I just wanted to share some of what I'm observing.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Thank you. Anyone else have questions or comments before we finish for today? Okay, so I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. And as Charles mentioned, as a group, we have created this energetic space through, and also as Kai mentioned as well, as a group, we have created this energetic space here, and it has allowed all of us to grow and evolve together. So thank you all, and everyone also thank everyone for coming here today and joining us to make this virtual group. And with that, I will end today's session.
Thank you, everyone.
Much those.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Neda.
Thank you, Oliver. Thank you, Farnoosh. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Kai. I wish you all a beautiful morning, afternoon, and evening.
Thank you.
Be well. Stay well.
Be well.
Bye.
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 Don't forget to share the link for the meditation.
Ah, yes, I will do that. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.